start your practice, I want you to come into a comfortable seated position. Now, the flow of this practice will focus a little bit on hamstrings, the back of the thigh, and the quads, the front of the thigh. And you should feel a little bit in the lower extremities as well. And then as we flow along, you'll flirt a little bit with some of the upper torso and the upper strength. And there's opportunities to feel how the lower and the upper work together. So be gentle and, you know, gauge what feels good to you, knowing that there is no right or no wrong, that what I'm offering in this next hour is just like a time for you to bring some awareness to anywhere in your body. So to begin, let's start with awareness of the breath. So come into a comfortable, easy pose. Try to have so one leg is lying in front of the other, and that just helps prevent a little hip lift. And then I want you to connect your palms with somewhere on your body, whether it's your thighs or sometimes it's our stomachs or it's our chest. So I want you to find some connection somewhere that feels good. And you can just do what I did and just kind of find what feels good. All right, and then sit up nice and tall. And you can move around and shift from side to side and maybe even do a little pelvic clack forward and backwards so you can feel totally grounded. And then let's bring to our practice 3 deep collective cycles of breath. So take a full inhale in through your nose. Sigh out the exhale. Full inhale. Sigh out the exhale. Full inhale. Sigh out the exhale. Then I want you to drop into some deep cycles of breath. So as you inhale, allow the torso to get big. And as you exhale, feel everything knit together. And I really want you to take this opportunity feeling the torso expand as your lower legs are grounding into the earth. Because as I stated earlier, you'll see the partnership between the two. So for now, you are just feeling your body take up space. And I want you to really play around with allowing the torso to get a little bigger each time. Can you extend the breath now? So take just a little bit longer inhale and a little deeper exhale. And then finish your cycle of breath here. Place your palms onto your shins or knees. And then as your next inhale happens, pull the sternum on forward, look on up into your seated cow. And as you exhale, chin into chest, round the spine into your cat. Inhale into your cow. Exhale into your cat. And here you are already seeing the connection between the lower and the upper body. So as you're flowing between cat and cow, try to keep the sit bones really grounded, that you're not bringing everything forward with you. And if you find yourself clenching or tensing up to prevent that, then I want you to find some ease and gentleness. So you're just looking up best as can be, and then bringing chin into chest. And here, if you're noticing that the hips need to start moving a little bit more, that you're losing the foundation in your sit bones, that might mean that you have some tightness in the deeper muscles. So now that you know that information, you can go and tread lightly as we flow. And this will make more sense as we go along too. Okay, great. Now I really want you to tilt the pelvis forward now as you look up. And then, bring the pelvis back, tilt it back as you come into your cat pose, your seated cat pose. That way you get a little bit more movement going in the entire spine. And it's just fun to take up space. And then when you're ready, you can continue with the seated cat cow, but if you would like to, you can start adding in some pelvic circles. And with this, you're taking in a little information too about what in the side body may be tight or loose. And then if you're doing the pelvic circles, switch direction. And then slowly come into stillness, sitting up nice and tall. Taking a few deep cycles of breath here, rooting back into your mat. And then set your right hand to the outside of your right hip. Lift your left hand high. Keep both sit bones rooted into the ground as you reach your left fingertips a little bit higher, but draw the scapula down. And then as you exhale, slowly walk the right hand out as you lean over to your right side. So left hand is reaching towards the right side. Once again, make sure that you're not lifting the hip out, or the sit bone, sorry. And then slowly rotate your torso, your sternum up towards the ceiling. Lift and spread the fingers a little bit wider. Take another deep cycle of breath. And then gently bring yourself back up. Left hand is still lifting high. Walk the right hand close to the right hip. Lift both hands up now, high to the sky. And then set your left hand down next to your left hip. And then walk your left hand out as you reach your right arm up and over. And then slowly start rotating your torso up towards the sky. Lift and spread your fingers nice and wide. And then as you inhale, lift the left or right arm up, walk the left hand in. And then bring your left hand to meet your right. And then fold forward, but keep it easy. So don't make it so deep. Keep the sit bones rooted down and set the hands down in front of you first. And then decide to slowly walk the fingers a little deeper. So you want to keep the sit bones rooted down. I think I might actually ease up a little bit so I can feel some equanimity between my left and my right. Palms connect or fingertips, and then drop the head, the neck, and the shoulders. Staying here for 3 deep cycles of breath. And then slowly and carefully walking your hands towards your legs, walking yourself up gently, sitting up nice and tall. Okay, from here, I want you to extend both legs long in front of you. Push out through the heels, toes are pointing up towards the sky. Sitting up nice and tall, slide the shoulders down and away from the ears. Okay, reach your arms up high to the sky and then slowly start folding forward, but once again, keeping the sit bones grounded down. So let the hands rest high on the legs first, sliding the scapulas down and away from the ears, drop the head, the neck, and the shoulders, and then maybe start walking the fingers closer to the feet. Pushing out through the heels. Once again, you should feel the engagement in the back of the legs. You should feel the sit bones rooted down. And if you keep the second toe in line with the hips, you should feel a little more, it should feel a little more balance between the left and the right because you're not rolling the ankles in or the feet in. And yeah, that creates a little rotation in the hip, which can activate different muscles. So hopefully that didn't get a little too out there. But keeping the second toe in line with the knee, pushing out through the heels, dropping the head, the neck, and the shoulders. 2 more breaths. And then slowly and carefully walking yourself up nice and tall. Okay, bring your right foot to the inside of your left leg. Keep pushing out through your left heel. And then reach your arms up nice and high. And fold forward down the center once again. So there's a little imbalance because one knee is bent and one isn't. But try to keep the sit bones connected still. And here you are specifically targeting and taking in what's going on in your left leg, really feeling what's going on in the back of the left leg. Keep pushing out through your heel. And then walk yourself up slowly. Send your right leg long and bring your left foot in. Once again, keep pushing out through your right heel. Try to keep your second toe in line with your knee. Reach your arms up high and fold forward down the middle. And you're not comparing left and right, but you may feel a difference. So it gives you just kind of an idea of maybe where you need to be gentle and cautious in other areas where maybe this will be a foundation or a grounding point for you. See if you can push your sit bones more into the ground as you reach the crown of the head towards your feet. Take your final cycle of breath here. And then slowly walk yourself up as you inhale. Great. Bring your legs out to the side and then come into a tabletop pose. Okay. From here, I want the palms planted. Lift the right leg behind you and push out through the right heel. And lift the left arm parallel to the left ear. Bring the belly button into the spine, and then try to reach the left fingertips away from the right toes. Push your right hand deeper into your mat. See if you can give yourself a little more length. And then as you exhale, bring the knee and the elbow together around the back. Inhale, long. Exhale, knee and elbow come together. Inhale, some length. Exhale, knee and elbow come together. Stay for a cycle of breath. And then inhale your arm and leg long. Set your left hand down, and this time, set your right toes down and then spin your right foot down so the entire foot is pushing onto the mat and the right toes are pushing out to the right side. And then lift the right arm up high to the sky. So you're in a side plank variation. If you want, and you don't have to, you can flirt around with a little bounce by lifting the right foot up. But if you're like me and want to focus on some anchoring, push your right foot into the mat as you reach your right fingertips up high to the sky, and see if you can push the mat away with your left hand. And then maybe look up at the right fingertips. And then reach your right hand back slightly, gently, opening up the chest just a little bit deeper. Feeling yourself push your right foot into the mat. And then as you exhale, bring the right hand back down to the ground. Right knee meets the left in your tabletop pose. Beautiful. From here, ground down with the right knee and the left palm. Reach the left leg long. Right arm reaches forward. Taking a nice full cycle of breath. Feel the toes reach away from the fingertips. And then knee and elbow come together around the back. Inhale, create some length. Exhale, knee and elbow come together. Inhale, create your length. Exhale, knee and elbow come together. Stay here. And then create length. Set your right palm down and then set your left toes down and place your left foot onto the mat. Come onto your right hand and right knee as you reach the left arm up high to the sky. And once again, if you want the balancing variation where you lift the left leg up, you can. But if you are looking for some anchoring, squeeze the left foot into the mat. And then if you want, you can always take the gaze up towards the left fingers, pushing the mat away on your right hand. And then maybe you take the left hand back just a little bit, opening up the chest. And then as you exhale, set the left hand down, left knee connects back onto the mat, tabletop pose. And then tuck under your toes and push back up into downward dog. And it's the first downward dog, so be gentle. You know, I would rather have you focus rooting your palms into the earth, pushing the tailbone up to the sky and bending the knees gently and sweetly, then reaching the heels towards the floor. So already, once again, you're finding out where you need to take some ease. So if you're feeling the pull in the hamstrings, you can always bicycle the legs back and forth, but bend the knees, give yourself some ease. One more big cycle of breath. And then shift forward into your plank pose. Take a full inhale. And as you exhale, lower the body down carefully. Untuck the toes, and then from here, place your elbows underneath your shoulders, forearms push into the mat. Lift the chin, lift the chest for your puppy pose or sphinx pose. There's a couple of different names for it, depending on where you practice. Okay, so from here, the forearms and the palms plant onto the earth. They don't move, but imagine that you're pulling your yoga mat towards you as you bring your heart forward. Try to keep the low back relaxed, the tops of the feet relaxed. One more big cycle of breath. And then as you exhale, lower down slowly. Replace palms where the elbows were, push up into plank pose, and then downward dog. One more big breath. And then take your right leg behind you, three-legged downward dog. Bend your right knee and open up the right hip. Three-legged downward dog. And then step your right foot through to your hands for your high runner's lunge. Okay, set your right heel or left heel down, and it doesn't need to be at a 90 degrees or anything like that. I just want you to have a foundation here. I actually need to step mine in, so I feel equal. All right, so from here, I want you to bend the right knee over the right ankle, look up for your cow back, and then as you exhale, straighten the right leg, round your back like you did in cat. So inhale, shift forward, look up, cat back, or cow back, exhale, straighten the leg, cat back. And we'll do this 3 more times. So bend the knee, look forward, find your cow back. Exhale, straighten the leg, cat back. 2 more times. Bend the knee, look up. Exhale, straighten the leg, knee to nose or nose to knee. Inhale, one last time. Look forward. Exhale, straighten the leg, nose to the knee. And then when you're ready, come back into your lunge. You still are pressing down through your left foot, yogi's choice, and then place your hands onto your hips. And then as you inhale, push yourself up into your warrior pose. So the hips are facing forward, and then reach the arms up high to the sky. Okay, bend the knee, keep your right knee bent best as can be. Press through the outside of the left foot. And then from here, I want you to slowly lean back gently. Now, if you're feeling the pull in the upper body, or maybe you're feeling it in the hips, this is where I want you to stay straight. Sometimes if you lean back, the cue will be to, straighten the legs. But from here, I want you to stay straight. So this is kind of giving you an idea of how the low legs and the upper body work together. One more big breath. And then draw yourself up, torso is forward, crown of the head is high to the sky. Exhale, frame your right foot, spin your left heel up, right foot meets left foot, plank pose. And this is where you will lower down slowly. Hands stay underneath the shoulders. Lift the chin, lift the chest for your first cobra pose. And then exhale, push on back, downward dog. Staying here for 3 deep cycles of breath. One more breath. And then slowly start putting the weight into your right heel as you lift your left leg behind you, 3-legged downward dog. Bend your left knee. Spread your left toes. One more breath. 3-legged downward dog. And then step the left foot through to the hands, high runner's lunge. And then set your right foot down. Feel the connection as your right foot roots into the earth. And then you'll come back to the deep bend into the left knee. Look on up into your cow back. And then as you exhale, straighten your left leg, cat back. Knowing that you'll do this 4 more times. So as you inhale, lunge, cow back. Exhale, straighten, cat back. 3 more times. Inhale, look on up. Exhale, nose to knee, best as can be. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Last time. Inhale, look on up. And exhale, fold over your straight left leg. And then bend back into your left knee, hands on hips, and then draw yourself up. Okay, keep the bend strong in your left knee. If you need to adjust your gait, go for it. I need to just a little bit. Hips face forward, reach the arms up high to the sky. And this is where you can gauge the difference between left and right. Not saying one's better than the other, but then as you lean back, maybe you're able to lean back deeper or not here. But if you notice that your left leg is starting to straighten, that's when I want you to come back out and stay nice and strong. So you're really activating the quads here. When you straighten the quads, you kind of take away that strengthening component. And in some practices and in some flows, you want that. But for now, I want you to really focus on your strong front thigh. And then if you're leaned back, slowly bring yourself back up. Crown of the head reaches up high to the sky. And then as you exhale, frame your left foot, spin your right heel up, Left foot meets right foot, plank pose. And then you will carefully take it through your flow. Meeting in downward dog. One more breath. And then take your right leg high. Exhale, bend your right knee, open up your hip. Inhale, right leg comes high. Exhale, right foot steps forward. Spin your left heel down. And then slowly and carefully reach your arms up high to the sky for your warrior 1. Open up to your warrior 2. Bend is still strong. You're looking out over your right fingertips, but then from here, drop your left hand to the back of your left thigh. Right hand reaches up high to the sky. And if you notice that your right leg starts straightening, maybe you ease back a little bit. Look up towards your right fingertips. And then come back into your warrior 2. Heel toe the left foot in, reach the right fingers forward, down as you straighten your right leg, coming into your triangle pose. And if you are looking more for a hip opener, maybe the right hand stays deep. But if you're noticing you need a little sweetness in the low back, bring your right hand up the leg, okay? The left hand reaches up high to the sky. You're opened nice and wide. You're just kind of gauging where you need to be for you as far as how deep your triangle should go. And then look down at your right toes. Place both hands to the inside of the right hand or right foot. Pivot your right toes to match your left. So you're starting to open wide on the left side of your mat. Find a forward fold here. Dropping the head, the neck, and the shoulders. And then walk your hands over to your left leg. So have your right hand placed on top of your left ankle, and then have your left hand come around to the behind the left leg. And really push into the mat with your left foot while keeping the right hip facing towards the left side or facing wide onto your mat. So it might help to press the right big toe into the mat, dropping the head, the neck, and the shoulders. And then slowly release, bringing your hands nice and wide in front of you. And then place your hands onto your hips. Inhale, come up. Maybe you bring your arms up nice and wide. Look up high to the sky gently. And then come back nice and tall. Turn the right toes forward. Bend into your right knee. Look out over your right fingertips. And then cartwheel your hands down to frame your right foot. Right foot meets left foot, plank pose. And then slowly and carefully taking it through your flow. Meeting in downward dog. Two more breaths. Last breath. And then from here, reach your left leg high. Bend your left knee. Left leg comes high. And then left foot steps through to your hands. Place your right foot down. Come on up, warrior one. Open up to warrior two. So you want to try to keep the torso nice and straight, and it's like you're just rotating. And looking out over the left fingertips. Bend is strong in the left knee. Drop the right hand back to the right thigh. Left hand comes high to the sky for your peaceful warrior. Now, taking the left hand as back as deeply as you would like without losing the bend in the left knee. And you'll feel it because you'll feel yourself slowly pulling the left knee forward. Great. As you inhale, draw yourself back up. Exhale, settle back into your warrior two. And then heel toe the right foot in a little bit as you reach the left arm forward and down. Right hand comes high to the sky for your triangle pose. Once again, taking the variation that will serve you best. One more breath. And then as you exhale, look at your left toe. Place both hands down.
Rotate the left toe so it's matching the right toes, and then walking yourself wide onto your mat. And then carefully walking your hands over towards your right foot. Left hand comes on top of the right ankle, right hand comes behind. And then slowly start pushing your weight into your right foot as you try to keep your left hip facing forward. You should be feeling this in the back of the thigh for sure, but you might be feeling this a little bit too in the inner thigh, in the adductors. Keep pressing through the left foot. And then slowly and carefully bring yourself back into center. Walk your fingers forward just a little bit. Give yourself a nice halfway lift. And then fold forward. Hands come onto the hips. Come up halfway. Pause here. Crown of the head reaches forward. Tailbone reaches back. Push your feet into the mat. And then draw yourself up. Arms come out to a T. And then bend back into your left knee. And then bring your arms up high overhead. Exhale, bring your left foot, plank pose. Slowly and carefully take it through your flow. Meeting in your downward dog. Two more breaths. Last breath. Reach your right leg high. Bend your right knee. Right leg comes high. And then step your right foot through to your hands. This time, try to keep your left heel lifted. And then hands on hips. So you're more in the high runner's lunge with a salute. Okay. Gently set your left heel down. Bend is strong in your right knee. And then bring your hands behind you. You can reach fingertips away or you can clasp. And then I want you to gently, slowly straighten your right leg without locking the knee. Take your full inhale. As you exhale, slowly start hinging forward, pausing halfway. And then release your arms and reach them parallel to your ear so your fingertips are reaching forward, crown of the head is reaching forward, tailbone is reaching back. You had a little practice with this in the beginning. One more big breath. And then as you exhale, place your hands down onto the ground or blocks. And then it's your choice to slowly guide the nose towards the knee or the shin. And it may touch, it may not touch. Don't worry about that. It's the guiding it there. And then imagine that you're keeping the left hip pointing forward and drawing the right femur or the right thigh bone back. And press your right big toe into the mat. One more big breath. And then bend into your right knee as you spin your left heel up. Step your right foot back, plank pose. And then downward dog. If you want to take a flow, go for it. I won't take that away from you, but we're not going to be here too terribly long. One more big breath. And then reach your left leg high, bend your left knee. Left leg comes high. Step your left foot through to your hands. Keep your right heel lifted. And then slowly find your high runner's lunge with a salute. Okay, this is where you can spin your right heel down, and this is, you can gauge your gait, your foundation. So if you need a little more stability, that's where you would walk the right foot in. Bring your arms behind you. Keep the bend strong in your left knee right now. Reach your fingertips back. Slowly straighten your left leg and then hinge forward, pausing halfway. And I should have mentioned this on the other side, but on this side too, I want you to feel how that transition from the front body to the back body happens. Pause halfway, reach the fingertips forward. Tailbone reaches away from fingertips. Big breath here. And then as you exhale, that's when you guide your hands down to blocks or the mat. Keeping the crown of the head reaching forward. Right hip bone reaches towards the front of the mat. Left thigh bone reaches towards the back of the mat. Press your big left toe in. And that's when you start guiding the nose to the knee or the shin. Two more big breaths. Last breath. And then bend into your left knee as you spin your right heel up. Left foot meets right foot, plank pose. And then downward dog. But if you're jonesing for the flow, go for it. One more breath. Last breath. From here, bring your right leg high. And then step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. And then gently set your left knee down. So this is where we can play around too with what's going on in the front or the deep front body, the deep line. So if you feel good here, you're feeling a nice deep stretch in the left thigh, the front left thigh, I want you to stay here. But if you want, you can always come down on forearms. And if you come down on forearms and you still want to feel a deeper stretch, that's when you can tuck under the left toes and lift the left knee. Staying here for 3 more breaths. And then slowly let's meet with palms connecting onto the mat. Pressing the left toes into the mat, pressing the palms into the mat, giving yourself some space so you can guide the right leg back up into a 3-legged downward dog. And then right foot meets in downward dog. Other side. Reach your left leg high. And then the left foot steps to the outside of the left hand. Once again, dropping the right knee down, coming into your lizard pose, and deciding if you want to come down on forearms. If you're on forearms and you still need something a little deeper, tucking under the right toes and lifting the right knee. And then slowly and carefully coming back up, palms connected to the ground. Tuck under your right toe, send your left foot back, high to the sky, and then downward dog. And then move your feet close to your hands, coming into your first forward fold. And then heel toe your feet as wide as your mat. And then slowly start bending the knees as you drop the bum, coming into your yogi squat or goddess pose. And then setting the bum back down onto the earth. Bring the bottoms of the feet together, sitting up nice and tall. Great. I want you to send your right leg forward, left foot to the outside of the right knee. Hug the left knee into your chest, push out through the right heel. And then bring the right heel towards your left glute. And then take your right hand to the back of your spine. Reach your left hand high to the sky. Oh, I did that wrong. Left hand comes down, right hand comes high. Sorry. And then as you exhale, slowly start rotating over towards the left side. So taking the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. And then sit up nice and tall, and then slowly decide to turn the head to look over the left shoulder. And then when you think you've done the rotation as deeply as you need in the cervical spine, then take the gaze over towards the left. And then bring your gaze back into the center. And then place your hands to the right side of your mat, giving yourself a counter twist. Beautiful. Slowly switch sides. So send both legs long. This time keep your left leg long as you take your right foot to the outside of the left knee. Bring the left glute, heel towards the right glute. Place the right hand behind your back as a kickstand. Reach the left arm up high, nice and tall. And then slowly bring the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Oh, and you can always hug the left knee into your chest too. And then rotate your cervical spine as best as can be. And then take your gaze out over your right shoulder. And then as you exhale, slowly bring yourself back into center. And then take both hands and set them on the left side as a counter twist. Beautiful. And then bring yourself back into center. I want you to hug your knees into your chest. Sit up nice and tall, and let's not rush this. So rock back on the heels, lift and spread the toes and set your toes down. And I want you to feel all points of your feet engage into the mat. I know this is a common cue I give, but I really want us to just drop back in and reset because we're not rushed to do anything. Pressing your feet into the mat, maybe hug the knees in a little deeper. Come up nice and tall and feel the sit bones connect. And then I want you to slowly come out and maybe take the feet a little bit wider and do the same thing. So come back on the heels, press the toes down, hug the knees in, sit up nice and tall. That might change this for you, it might not, but sometimes it's just nice to give yourself that permission to change it up a little bit and check back in. And this next time I want you to release out and maybe find the sweet spot that works for you. So, You might want to leave the feet as they are or move them in closer or maybe even explore a little wider. And then rock back on the heels, lift and spread the toes as you hug the knees into the chest and then slowly reach the crown of the head up towards the sky. As you press your foundation into the earth, heart comes forward a little bit. And then tucking the chin into the chest, slowly lower down one vertebra at a time, but leave your feet planted. And even as you shift gravity, you can feel the front line body or the muscles of the front line kind of shift with you. You should have felt like a little bit of movement in the quads and in the hips as well as you shifted your pelvis. Okay, I want you to extend your left leg long wherever it's at. You're not changing your feet. And then hug the right knee into your chest. Make any adjustments if you need to, but I think it might be fun for you to explore where you landed. But it's your body. I want you to, do what you need to do. And then take your right arm out to a T. Use your left hand to drag your right knee across body, giving yourself another spinal twist here. And some of us, our right knee's going to touch the ground. Others of us, it's not going to happen. But try to find a spot where it'll rest. I'm the latter party. It's not going to happen. But while you're here, I really want you to try to focus to keeping the right shoulder connecting to the earth. If you feel the right shoulder coming up, there's a little shortness in the front body. That's okay. That's okay. But you're keeping that grounding in. When you keep the shoulder down, you can promote a little length. All right, bring yourself back into center. Hug your right knee into your chest. And then have your left knee hug into. And you're not going to be exactly the same because things shifted as we twisted. So make the adjustments you need. And then send your right leg long. And then you'll take your left arm out to a T. And use your right hand to drag your left knee across body. And once again, you'll feel like the left hip is obviously coming off of the mat. But if you're reaching a point where you're feeling the left shoulder blade coming off of the mat, back off. The left knee may touch the mat, it may not. The left foot may touch the mat, it may not. Just kind of honor where you're at. Keep pushing out through your right heel. I did you a disservice on the other side by not reminding you of that. So you're keeping the right toes pointing up towards the ceiling and you're pushing out through your right heel. You're not letting the right foot roll in or out. You're still keeping the right hip active. There's so much going on. Oh, sorry, yeah. One more big breath here. And then slowly bring yourself back into center. Hug the knees into the chest. If you want, you can rock from side to side, or you can give yourself a nice little pelvic tilt, or where you're rolling the knees around. And if you've chosen that route, I'm going to trust that you'll reverse direction here by now. And then take the knees back into the chest. Take a hold of the bottoms of the feet or the big toes, and then find your happy baby pose. Now, this is the inversion that I'm going to cue, but if you have another inversion that you would like, I want you to go there. But just know I won't cue you out of it. So if you're staying with me in happy baby, maybe you can play around here a little bit, but then eventually I want you to find a spot where you can be in stillness just for this inversion. Dropping back into your deep cycle of breath. And then meet with the knees hugging into the chest. And then slowly extend one leg long, followed by the other, giving yourself a full body stretch. And then bring the arms down to the side, coming into your Shavasana pose. Knowing that I am minding the time for you, and I'll call you back. All right, collectively, let's take 3 deep cycles of breath. Full inhale. Sigh out your exhale. Full inhale. Sigh out your exhale. Full inhale. Sigh it out. Reach the arms up overhead. Come over onto your right side. Staying here for a few deep cycles of breath. And then slowly and carefully pushing yourself up into a seated pose. Once again, finding the easy pose where the legs are lying in front of each other. Palms connect with somewhere on your body. Take a nice full inhale. Exhale. Reach the arms up high. Palms come together in prayer. Bring the prayer hands to your third eye as a reminder to have loving thoughts. And then to your lips as a reminder to have loving words. And then to your heart as a reminder to always having loving actions towards yourself and towards others. The light and love in me acknowledges and honors the light and love in you. Namaste.